Hi. As we discussed today, we will show you a small presentation how exactly the payroll and the attendance is interconnected, how it is calculating the overtime, and how exactly you require your attendance sheet to be uploaded to the system. So first of all, let me show you the employee information here. And if you look at it, you can see all the employees' information. And at the same time, every month, by the end of the month, we would require to have attendance sheet to be built, similar to this one. So here we require three information. That is like what is the employee's name as per what you have given into the system, and what is the login time, what is the logout time. So that's pretty much what you need to give. So if an employee has been working for 22 days, you have to give that 22 records, and then you can just below that you can start giving by the next employee. So this is how exactly we would require the file which needs to be exported. Typically, when you have a fingerprint system, it will export the data similar to the same thing. So if that is there, we can directly integrate it. However, if that is not there, we can use a Excel sheet or a CSV file to export the content to the system. So what I'm going to do here is, before we start, there is two employee information which we have taken. One is Keith and another one is Walter. So for those two employees, I just want to show you that right now there is no attendance records inside the system. So this is attendance sheet, and if you come down to the screen, you can see that there is a lot of records of Anita, but there is no records for Keith, nor for you know uh, the other employee which I'm going to create it. I'm just creating a small view so that it is easy for you to understand it. So if you look at it, you have August attendance report for Anita alone. You don't have it for any other employees. So it is telling this is the check-in time and this is the checkout time. So similar to your login time and your logout time. Perfect. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just click on this import file and load the file which I have created for the two employees, that is for Keith and for Horton. Let me just put that here, and this is how exactly it is going to look like. So once you're done this process, you can click on this test import, which is going to check if there is any spelling mistake for the employees or anything like that. It'll just notify it to you. So as long as you don't have any errors, it'll come back with a message stating that everything seems to be valid. So you can click on this import button. So that's all what you need to do. So when you click on the import button, you got the message that the import is completed. Now, when you come down under the August, you can see that previously there was only Anita's record. Now you have Keith and you have Walter's record. Now, before we go ahead, I just want to show you the file which we have exported, which have some interesting facts inside it. So let's have a look at that first. So we have told the system the login time is 8 o'clock and evening 6 o'clock is the logout time. So if you look at Keith, on 4th, he have logged in at 1 hour late, and we have the logout time exactly as the same. However, if you look at 8th and 11th, he is like 3 hours extra, worked on the company. Similarly, on 21st, you have 4 hours of additional work. So this I just put it for understanding purpose. Now for Walter, he only have 4 hours of additional job and 1 hour of delay. Now the system provides you, the facility to auto calculate all those overtime what has been done by this associate. So once you import the attendance sheet, it is going to have similarly exactly the same information what you have fed into the system. So if you look at Keith, you can see that what days, if you look at it, you can see that 1 hour of delay is there, and similarly 3 hours of additional work. Instead of 6 o'clock, it is 9 o'clock. 21 is 9 o'clock. Here it is 10 o'clock. So all those information has been automatically captured. However, the next thing what we require here is we want the same thing to be auto calculated and put into the payslip directly. So how it is going to happen here is you have the attendance. Now we need to create an attendance sheet against that employee for the month. So for each employee, you can click on this button. Now, once you click on this button, you can select for which employee you're going to do it. So I'm just going to select it for Keith, and for what period you're going to create this attendance sheet. So in this case, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do it for August 1st to August 31st. That is the attendance sheet which I've given. So let me just put that, and basically I can click on the save button. So what I have done here is I've created an attendance sheet, and I'm telling that I want to get his attendance from his attendance report. So the moment you click on this get attendance, it is going to get all the attendance details which we have imported. So here it is telling that what is your planned signed in time. That is like what is your schedule, what is your logout time, what is your actual login and logout time, and whether there was any late coming. So if you look at this row which talks about the late coming, it is telling that yes, he was late on this day. Now, if you want to see the overtime, you can click on the overtime. So it is going to tell you that he had 3 days with overtime, were 3 hours, 3 hours, and 4 hours. Okay. Now coming into the difference time, so that's like you schedule the person to log in at this time, and he logged in at a different time, and maybe like he extended exactly the same time. So those things is also captured here. So pretty much this is what your attendance sheet would look like. Now there is a calculation attendance sheet. So you can click on the compute attendance data. So what it has done here is it has calculated total days that he have came as overtime. So there is 3 days which he have come as overtime, and the total hours is 4 hours. Now there is some certain rules of UAE which has been applied in the same thing. So you could have first 2 hours for 100% of the per hour charge, and after that it needs to be 150% and things like that. So you can have all those configurations which can be assigned into the system. I've just given a simple configuration just to show you that attendance rule. I'll just show you the attendance rule for easy understanding. We have told that if it is 1 hour and above, so it'll be like 10 dirhams up till 4 hours. So it's like 1 hour or 2 hour or 3 hour, he'll be getting per hour 10 dirhams. From fourth hour onwards, he'll be getting if we have worked on a day for 4 hours, he'll be getting 15 dirhams. So how it is going to calculate is like we had 3 hours additional work for 2 days. So let me just take you back to that sheet for easy understanding. So overtime, perfect. So these 3 hours he'll be getting per hour 10 dirhams. So it'll be like 6 hours multiplied by 10 dirhams will be 60 dirhams. However, the 4 hours he have worked on this day, which means that he is eligible for 150%. That is like 15 dirhams. So 15 dirhams multiplied by 4 would be another 60. So 60 plus 60, he'll be eligible to get 120 dirhams of additional pay for him. So that's how it is going to work. Now, if you look at it, you can see all this computation is done. You can submit it to the manager. However, I'm using a manager's ID as well. So that's why it is asking me to do the approval button. If in case you want to have any change or something like that, you can always go back and make those changes in this screen by the manager. Once it is done, he can click on the approved button. So once it is approved, you can directly click on this create payslip for that employee. So basically what will happen here is based on that calculation along with the rest of the information which we have given. So you can see that this is Keith's data, and if you come down here and if you put the compute sheet button, so this is his payslip, allowances and other things which has been given. But if you look at the overtime, it is 120 dirhams which has been come from that automatic attendance sheet. So this is how exactly your attendance calculation, overtime, loss of pay, leaves, everything will be calculated with the attendance sheet. And how the attendance data needs to be imported is as shown here. It's just 2 click just by import and load file. And the only thing which we need to keep in mind is like we need to generate a CSV file or an Excel file similar to this one if you are not planning to take the data directly from biometric or devices of that kind if you manually want to give that information. So that's pretty much about the attendance and attendance converting into the payslip.